Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be doing a Delusions inspired layout using her collage focal pieces and something pretty special, which I'm pretty proud of, because that little piece of paper there is one of my very own collage rice papers that's just been released by Scrap FX. So I will leave the link to where you can get that in the description box below. But the reason I really love this paper, apart from the fact that I had a hand in it, is it's an instant background. So if you are very time poor, like I am a lot of the time these days, being able to glue down a rice paper sheet, no matter who designed it, onto the background just gives you an instant background that you can do stuff with. The backgrounds that I've designed, I've got 5 pages out and they're very busy, like all the stuff I do, and lots of mic making and so on in the background. So, you know, obviously it appeals to me because it's the sort of stuff I do because I did it. But it also works really, really well with really bold images over the top. So this is where the Delusions Collage, new collage sheets come in really, really handy. So these are packs of 24 magazine collage images that she's scanned and cut out from her art journal pages, so we can use them in our art journal pages. And she's already got mark making on them. She's doodled over the top of them because she loves doing that, but it just gives a really great basis for what you would like to do in your artwork. And as I said before, for people who are really time poor, it's just such a quick and easy way to get imagery onto your page without having to go through magazines and, you know, search for the perfect images and search for the perfect proportions, which is probably the hardest thing. When I'm doing magazine collage, while I really like things being out of proportion, that's what gives it that really unique style. If you've got a particular size journal, sometimes you just can't get the right image to fit into your journal in the way you want it to. So with these sheets, she's been very clever because she's got, I think, 20 sheets of these larger images in it, and then all those sheets have been reduced down half size. So for the, I think the dialogue things that she does, but my little use it up journal is 5 by 8.5 inches, and the half size images fit in that perfectly. So having the dual sizes really, really helps. So what I'm doing now is I have cut out another image from her sheet, which that group of people in the background, which are kind of anonymous, and they sort of blend into that background, which I kind of wanted them to do. I didn't want them to stand out too much. And you can see I'm getting my paint pens out and colouring over the top. And it's something I really like to do both with Diane's stuff and with Dina Wakely's Collage Collective, is they are both magnificent artists. I wish I could be in their realms. But I like to be involved in my art journal pages too. And even if that's just changing the colour like I'm doing here, or blending it into my background in some way, or just doing some line work over the top, it helps me feel like I've got a hand in the page as well. It's not all someone else's artwork. You know, I've done something to this to make it mine. And, you know, we're all buying these sheets, but we can all make them look unique in the way that we've added them to our page, or what images we've combined together, or how we've coloured them. So they're just another tool, and we can decorate them or change them in any way we want to. So you can see there I'm going in and giving her stripy arms, which I quite like the look of. And it echoes the stripes up on the top left hand corner as well. So again, sort of taking my colour cues from the background as well to sort of incorporate it in. The other thing you'll find with these is you might like to go around the outsides of them with a black or a darker pen, just to pop out some of the details, and again stick them out from the background a little bit. So you can see, even with a fine black paint pen, just doing that little bit of detail work around it just helps define some of those areas a little bit more on this image. So once I've finished doodling and playing around. I'm going to glue the head down now too. Oh no, I'm going to doodle on that too, because why not? So I'm just adding in some of the pink from the bottom image again, just to sort of blend it together, putting in some dot work. This image had that on its eyes already, but instead of having it white, I'm adding in some of that pink and putting in a little bit more white over the top. You will find with most images, if you add a little bit more white and black to it, it will make all the difference to it. So to glue this down, you can certainly use gel mediums, but I've found just using either a glue stick or that's the Gina K Connect glue to glue it down is better. The paper that these are printed on is uncoated, so you do need to be careful when you're particularly using something like the Stabilo or pencil with it, because it can seep into the surface and bleed a little bit. Not the image itself, but the you know, if you used watercolor or something, it will actually sink into the paper. So just be aware of that. As I like to do with all of Diane's, the Delusions stuff, is put something snarky on it. I can't remember what the quote is. We'll see it in the close-up at the end. And I'm also outlining those figures down the bottom too, just to again pop them out from the background. So again, it's going back to that line work of, if you need something to either stand out of the background, putting a little white or black around it will make all the difference. So I was really debating here as I was doing this page. I really liked it. But one of my favorite things to do on collage images like this is to actually add some journaling to the background. Now, the raging debate in my head at the moment is, you have got such a busy background, do you need to make it any busier by adding journaling over the top? And my answer to myself was, of course, because, you know, whenever, you know, enough is enough. So so I'm just doing some journaling over the top. I'm using a white pen, a paint pen, and I'm doing my usual line, and you know, this has come from Tisha Moore, which is a huge influence of one of Diane Reevely's huge influences as well. Tisha Moore is just sort of the founder of art journaling all those years ago. So this is a technique that she used a lot, which is basically just drawing out some curved lines and then just writing in uppercase all along it. And once you get to the end of the line, if you haven't finished your word, go to the next line and keep going. And the beauty of that is, even though the journaling is more readable up to a point, because it's kind of jumbled, you may not finish a whole word, so it's down on the next line. And because they're different sizes and it's all in block letters, it actually ends up looking like pattern work over the background or doodling over the background. So even though I've written in there, they're all words that you could read, and if you sat down with my journal in front of me, you could read it. You can sort of see that here. It sort of just adds to the pattern in the background. So it's kind of a great way to kind of hide your journaling. So this is the completed page. It was lots of fun to do, and having those pre-made elements just makes such a huge difference to how fast you can complete a page. So I think that journal page took me about half an hour all up, which in the long run isn't too bad. So it's a good way if you've only got a short amount of time to get something together. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.